Welcome back to the tutorial for the new Canaan Champion Tree project. The next measurement we're going to be talking about is tree height. And the way that we measure tree height is using what's called a height gauge. Now this is a pretty neat device that does a little bit of trigonometry behind the scenes for you and really makes it easy to measure tree height without having to actually climb the tree. Now the height gauge has the directions printed on here, but just as a quick overview, there's a couple important features to the gauge that you're going to want to use. The first are two sights, and so when you're actually using the gauge, you're going to be looking through these two circles, and those are called the sights. And what you're going to want to do when you're looking at the tree is to sight the top of the tree through those two sights. The other feature that this has on it is a level as well as a mirror. And the mirror is there so that while you're looking through the sights on the gauge, you can also look down at the level and ensure that your gauge is level. It's really important that the gauge be level for you to get the correct measurement. And so we're going to do a quick sample now. As you're measuring the tree, the way this works is roughly the tree height and the distance you are from the tree are going to be the same. So you can kind of eyeball it and guess about how far away from the tree you want to be. And it might take a little bit of experimenting the first time around. You might need to get a little bit closer, a little bit farther after your initial measurement. So I'm going to take my gauge, I'm going to sight it so that I'm level with the ground, so right around there. And right now, if I look through the gauge, I'm only about halfway up the tree. So I need to step a little bit farther back. And so now I'm going to use the gauge again. I'm going to get my gauge level. So I'm looking through the mirror and I see that that's level. And sure enough, right now, when I look through these two sights and while my gauge is level, I get I see the top of the tree through these two sights. And so now the neat thing about this device, as I mentioned, is that all you need to do now is measure the distance between you and the tree. So what I'm going to do at this point is measure my number of paces to the tree. So we'll count out loud here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. So it took me 18 steps, which is 9 paces. I know that each of my paces is about 5 feet. So 9 times 5, 45. So this tree, or I guess I should say, I was 45 feet from the tree. The last thing I need to do is then add my height to that measurement to get the final height of the tree. So 45 plus me being 6 feet tall, this is a 51-foot tree. And that's all you need to do. There's no tree climbing required. All you have to do is be able to calculate your distance from the tree. And one thing that might be good to do is to measure your pace before you go out to the woods. And we have instructions about how to do that in the citizen science guide that you've been provided. But effectively just measuring your pace, either count out 10 steps and see how far that was, divided by 10, anything like that will work. But that allows you to not have to carry a long tape measure with you in the woods. You can just measure using your pace. So again, instructions are printed right on here. There's also some of the trigonometry that's used on the back if you're interested, but this is our height gauge. That's how we'll measure tree height. And the final measurement that we're going to be taking is the crown spread, so stay tuned and we'll do a tutorial for that one.